Hi Archers! As of patch 2.2.1 and 2.2.2, Ayana has apparently been silently nerfed, and I'm pretty annoyed about it. Thank goodness I saw this before I released the Ayana guide, which I now have to redo. Some changes were made in both patches, so they will not appear on the first patch. In this video, we'll be going through her damage numbers and compare the differences, as well as briefly talking about her damage now compared to Meowgic and Helix. My name is Teeds. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe and click the bell for more ARCHERO videos. Disclaimer, since Ayana is pretty complicated, I did a few tests myself just to check some numbers to see if it was true or not about her nerf, and it is. Some of you may know who Pure is by now. He is a dedicated ARCHERO player who wants to help the community, and this will be based on his new numbers. I trust Pure's work, and the link to his documents will be in the description box below. Thank you so much, Pure, for your dedication to the ARCHERO community. You have no idea how many of us you have helped, including myself. If there are any more changes for Ayana, I'll let you know in the comments down below. And as for the guide, I will release that. I just have to redo all the testing again with certain abilities and stuff to make sure it still works. First, let's talk about our old numbers so we can compare them to the new numbers. I won't go super in depth because it is a lot and I don't want to bore you. Ayana's special ability is Charm. She applies a charm to an enemy every hit. An enemy who is charmed will receive bonus damage each attack and also tick damage on top of that. If you're no longer hitting the same enemy, Charm will automatically be reapplied every 10 seconds on the enemy. Charm tick and damage increases in damage as you level up in the game. Ayana also creates a portal that lasts for 5 seconds or until it is used. Charm also slows enemy projectiles. So this is basically what Charm is. Now we'll compare the actual numbers. The tick damage previously was 48% of your base damage and it ticked twice. It now ticks once for 46% of your base damage. This is non-modifiable. It is 2% difference. The damage used to increase by 0.4% of your base damage each time you level up to a maximum of 49.6%. It now increases by 0.12% of your base damage each time you level up for a maximum of 46.84%. That's a 2.76% difference. From my previous testing, when there were 2 ticks, the first tick would apply a second after the first hit, and the second tick almost half a second after. Now, the current tick will apply after slightly longer than a second. Enemies affected by Charm received 20% more damage previously, and it is now 15%, which is a 5% difference. The bonus damage would also increase as you level up. The numbers have now been nerfed. If you want to see the exact numbers for each level, it will be linked down below in Pure's research. The increase was 20% to a total of 24%, and it has now been nerfed to 15% to a maximum of 17.1%. That's a 6.9% difference. In patch 2.2.1, there doesn't seem to be a portal difference. However, another ARCHERO user has pointed out some of her nerfs are applied in patch 2.2.2, which I do not have yet. The portal apparently now has a delay. You will have to stand in the portal for at least a second before teleporting according to Pure, whereas previously it would instantly teleport you when slightly touched. This change seems to counter the spawn location of the portal, as at times the portal teleports under your hero, and because of that it could put you in bad positions. When I first played Ayana, I did find her portals annoying when that did happen. However, in my own personal experience, it did not happen often. The change that it seems a lot of us were asking for is just to not have the portals spawn right under us. So they have kind of did that, but not, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of it. That's just how I feel. I cannot test this right now, but I was hoping they figured out a way to just not have it spawn right under us, because a 1-second delay can actually be dangerous in some situations. What I liked about the instant portal was that I was able to avoid some incoming projectiles. That's how I mostly use Ayana's portals. They were especially useful in boss fights. I'm not mad they made this portal change. It's just a way to counter the accidental portal uses. This is just their solution for what we asked for. What do you archers think about this change? As for Ayana's nerf, this is what I'm mostly not happy about. I have no idea why they changed Ayana's numbers and why they made them worse. From what I know, they did not announce this. I found this through Reddit, which led me back to Pure's work. With this, what does that mean? How different are the damage numbers now compared to the other free-to-play gem heroes, Meowgic and Helix? From my own calculations based on Pure's new numbers for Ayana, keep note that the numbers may differ for each player as you may have different runes or hero buffs. This is mostly based on his numbers and my accounts for the other heroes. These numbers are just averages based on their level 60 stats, special abilities, no additional abilities with an attack speed of 1.73. DPS stands for damage per second. From what I have, Miagic's DPS is 3,135. Helix's DPS at 25% health is 2,843. Ayana's DPS with her old stats was 2,428. According to my calculations, Ayana's DPS with her current stats are 1,996. We can conclude this is a huge nerf for Ayana, and I'm pretty annoyed by this. In addition to that, even outside DPS, she loses damage because the tick only ticks once, meaning if you stop attacking, you won't get a secondary tick. In total, Ayana's nerf has given her an average of a 17.8% DPS loss. Considering her tick damage as well, it will be roughly around 20% damage loss or even more. Miagic and Helix, at least DPS wise, are now a lot stronger than Ayana. The benefits she still has is that she can apply charm to multiple enemies and possibly her portals. Like I said earlier, she will teleport at least a second after standing in a portal, according to Pure. This could be good or bad, and I can't test it right now. So I'm pretty annoyed with this nerf because when she was first released, she was really strong. But with her current numbers, in my opinion, you do not have to agree with me, her damage is just not as good anymore compared to Miagic and Helix. However, I always say play what you have fun with the most. For those who do not know who to buy out of the three, and if you're after a strong hero, I would suggest either Helix or Miagic over Ayana, depending on your playstyle. Ayana is expensive. She costs 2,500 gems, where Helix costs 1,500 gems and Miagic costs 1,800 gems. Both of them seem to be stronger compared to Ayana for much cheaper. Why I'm mostly annoyed by this is because so many of us have already purchased Ayana because she was strong when they released her. I kind of feel scammed in a way because now they've nerfed her after a lot of players have already bought her. That's not fair. It kind of comes off like, let's release a strong hero just to get everyone to buy her and then nerf her. I'm not saying this is what their intention was, but I really do not understand why they nerfed Ayana and did not even tell us. I would buy Ayana for her hero stats, but only after I've purchased Miagic and Helix, or if you just genuinely have fun with Ayana. What I'm thinking is that since ARCHERO has done this, I kind of lost trust in them because it's just so unfair to nerf her that much for how much we spent on her, and not very long after she is released, but not in a short amount of time either. It was like the perfect amount of time to get enough players to purchase her. This is just some conspiracy theory I have. It's not real or anything like that, but it does come off that way for me. A lot of players have spent a lot of their coins into Ayana because they wanted to main her, and I can only imagine how frustrating this is for them. From what I know, they haven't done this with any other hero except some minor changes in one of the big updates. Now my question is, will they do this to other heroes in the future? Or like other new heroes? I would say it's probably better to hold off from buying other heroes at least maybe a month or two after their release to make sure they don't pull an Ayana and nerf that new hero. I wish they released a statement or something to help us understand why they made these changes to Ayana. Bug fixes I can understand, but this was not a bug fix. It was a massive change to a strong and expensive hero who doesn't seem to be worth it for that price anymore. That is all for today's video. I thank you very much for listening to my mini rant. I don't usually rant that much on this channel, but it is pretty frustrating to see how many players have bought Ayana, and this is what it has come to. Let me know your thoughts about this Ayana nerf in the comments down below. Thank you again to Pure. Without Pure, we probably wouldn't have known about these nerfs. Subscribe and click the bell for more ARCHERO videos. Like the video if you're pretty annoyed by this nerf too. I hope to see you again for the next one. Bye!